back to the channel. Before we get started on today's video, I wanted to give a big thank you. Thank you to all the subs that have gotten me to this point. The channel is now officially monetized by YouTube. That is a big achievement, and I could not have done it without you guys. And also, a big thanks to Chris, Fox Body Mafia. Check out this cool hoodie he sent me. Yeah, I know I'm a great model, but no, thanks Chris, really appreciate it. Love this hoodie, man. Today is going to be part 2 of the 1957 Chevy Bel Air. We're going to call it the 4-to-2 because we're taking a 4-door and we're combining it with a 2-door, and we're going to make one, and it's going to be one outstanding vehicle. So guys, time to get started. Let's go. Hey guys, as you can see, the car is pretty much where I left it here a few weeks ago. I've been just a little bit preoccupied spitting plastic all over this shop. I spent half last night getting this thing cleaned up and cleaning this thing up, getting it ready so I can get back to regular work out here and not making trim bezels every evening and every weekend. So what I'm going to be working on today is we've kind of got the car to the point where we're going to bring it over here to the lift and get it up on the lift to separate the body and the chassis. Before I do that though, I'm going to go ahead and finish disconnecting a few things, go ahead and get the radiator out, I'm going to go ahead and finish getting some disassembly done, so I'm going to take you along for that. And hopefully by the end of the day I'll have this car ready and we'll get it pulled over here to the lift and go ahead and get this thing up on the lift so we can go ahead and start taking the body mounts out and get ready to separate that. We'll get ready to separate that body from the chassis. Not sure if we're going to get to that on this video, but we're going to try. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so as the disassembly moves on along, I think it'd be worth telling you guys I have never done anything like this before. This is well above the level of anything I've ever attempted. But I think that's what's cool about this channel, and I think this is what's cool about a lot of you guys. I know if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And there's enough stuff out there on YouTube on these cars or Fox Bodies or any cars that will get you down the right path. So what I'm going to work on next is I'm actually going to go ahead and disconnect your brake booster, master cylinder, get that out of here. Then I'm going to work on the steering linkage, go ahead and get this steering column pulled out. This car is actually a 3 on the tree. We're going to keep that. That way we can go ahead and get that much closer to being able to separate this body from this frame. Well guys, I've changed my mind. I've decided to go ahead and just get it out of the way over here. Go ahead and get it on the lift. Actually, for one reason, I've got my friend Ryan that is coming here tomorrow. The weather is not the best here right now, and go ahead and get this out of the way so I can still leave my car in the garage and bring his car in here because I'm going to help him out get his HVAC relocation done on his car, and we'll actually be doing a feature on his car. So guys, I've got it on wheel dollies and I've got my lift up. We're going to see, so you guys see this thing is a lot longer than say a Fox Body. So I'm going to see if we can get this thing. I've got all my tool carts. I've got them moved over there. And we're going to see if this thing, if we can take this thing and slide it around and come through here. And then if not, hey, my dolly is it's a MaxJax, and it's meant to where it's got quick disconnects for your hydraulics, and you can unbolt it and move this one out of the way. But I'm going to hope maybe we don't have to move it out of the way and just push this thing in here. So I'm going to get some help out here and let's see if we can get it done. Well, as you can see, we got it moved over there. My wife and I, we was able to maneuver this thing and get it over there without having to remove this post right here. I always leave the other one stationary, but if you have to get something in here kind of big, this one can be removed pretty easily, but then you got to worry about taking the bolts out, retorquing them. And speaking of retorquing, it's always a good idea to double check your torque on all of your bolts if you have a post lift, because actually some of these were outside of spec once I retorqued them down. Got my arms put on there. But guys, I'm gonna tell you the thing I love about this lift, it is totally portable. So if I wanted to get it completely out of the way, it's actually got wheels right here, and I can do this all by myself. I can disconnect this, take the arms off, kick this thing back just like a two-wheel dolly, and push it out of the way. Also, the pump is on wheels and it can be rolled right out of the way, and these hoses are set up where they're on quick disconnects. So it's a pretty nice little system, and this system is perfect if you've got a low rise. You can actually put this in an 8 or 9 foot ceiling garage, because your height here, even when it is extended, I think only goes up to about 8 foot. Now your working room underneath this lift is right, I think, at about 52 or 54 inches. So what it works out to be is a perfect height if you're sitting on a stool underneath a vehicle. Works out perfect. I absolutely love this lift. One of the best purchases I ever made. This one here is made by it's a MaxJax. It's not really, to be honest with you, I think it's made overseas. I think it's Chinese made. It works okay, but I think the retail on it's about $2,000. I was able to pick it up on a promotion where I think it was 10% off, and that was delivered. So for around 1,800 bucks, I think is what I paid for this one. You can actually get a inexpensive, real full-size two-post lift for that size, but that really won't work in what I've got in here. And guys, as you can see in my shop, this area that I have here is a 24 by 32 inside of here. So if you get one car over here, one here, and one here, it gets a little tight in here. But that's all right. That's why I've got a lift like this, so that I can use it as needed, and it is perfect. I don't need to stand up to work. I can sit down underneath. Actually, you know, I kind of like sitting down and working. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I'm getting ready to go ahead. I've got everything hooked up. I have not lifted the car up yet. All I did just to make sure my hydraulics were working, and I just raised the arms up just a little bit. We'll go ahead and get this thing lifted up. I'll put you back on the stand, and let's get this thing up in the air.
One eternity later.
Alrighty, that's full height for this lift. Now, if you guys have ever watched somebody put something on the lift, you hear those clicks as it's going up. This doesn't have that, so these are actually the safety devices for this lift. It's actually got 2 points, a lower, which if you're doing kind of suspension work, it's perfect for that height, or working under it, it's perfect for this height. You literally have to take this pole and stick it through there, and that's what will, if for some reason the cylinder was to fail and this came down, this would stop it from coming down. Alright guys, it's been a few days since I've been out here and had a chance to work on the 57. I can tell you one thing, it's a good idea to go ahead and finish what you're doing on a car before moving on to something else, because once you set bolts and nuts to the side and thinking you're going to bag and tag them later, you'll forget what those nuts and bolts went to. So I am glad I had my stuff ready to be bagged and tagged. I would not have had a clue of all of the stuff that I've been working on, which has primarily been the steering column and disconnecting everything else from the body, but a lot of stuff had to come apart to get the steering column out of this car. I'll finish up showing you that, but right now what we're ready to do is go ahead and get the car back on the ground. I've got to pull the steering box and shaft out, because you actually pull the steering column out from the inside of the cab, and then you actually have to disconnect the steering box and pull it out from the other direction, out from the car. And that is the last thing I hope we'll see that is connected, and then we'll go ahead and get this frame and body separated. Alright, well, let's see if I can get this dang thing out of here. This has been a pain, I will say that. This has absolutely been a pain in the butt. Let's see if it comes loose. Of course not. We got proper. It don't always go as planned. I'm just like you guys. If I don't know how to do something, I go to YouTube and look up how to do it. And the video that I was watching, that steering box came right out after the 3 bolts, after the 3 nuts. There's 3 studs that hold that steering box on the frame. Those 3 nuts, and he had an all stock car. I don't know how it come out, but maybe my studs are just a little bit longer on this car. But there is no way that steering box is coming out without that exhaust manifold being unbolted from the engine. So, as you can see, I've got the car back up so I can get under the car easily and go ahead and disconnect the exhaust from the exhaust manifold, and then we'll go back up top and disconnect that exhaust manifold. Then we should have plenty of clearance to pull that steering box. Whew! That was a job. Ended up having to take one of the engine mounts out, jack the side of the motor up, disconnect that side of the exhaust to get over that one stud to get that loose. Now we're going to go ahead and bring the car back down, and cross my fingers, hopefully the steering box and shaft comes right on out. Here we go. I think it's going to come out. I really do. I really think it's going to, I think it's going to come out. Hallelujah. Now the alternator will probably be in the way, because that is the way our luck is going. Oh, look at here. Let me get my shift linkage here. Well, that ain't falling everywhere. Ta-da! All right, go up just a little bit.
Yep.
Hold up. Well, boys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go ahead and wrap this video up. As most things do when you guys are doing a big project, know that you're going to run into a lot of hurdles. But you got to keep going. If you just put your head down and say, screw it, you'll never get it done. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day, and sometimes that's the best thing to do when you get frustrated, but there is still something holding this car up from separating. So I got to go do a little more research. I've got a full 57 shop manual that was made back in 57. I have to show you guys that. I'm going to go do some research on that, look on YouTube and see what I have missed, because I can't figure it out, but it will not separate. So next video, hopefully, we'll go ahead and start off with separating the car, and we'll get that and then take it to the next step, and we'll start working on the frame, get the motor pulled, start getting it regasketed, getting all that set up and ready to go ahead and put that other body on this frame. I'll catch you guys on the next one.